Hi.
Great. How are you?
Welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Hi, everyone. I'm Georgie Speakman. You're watching Outlier TV. And this evening we have the pleasure of speaking with Miss Tonya Tran. Ta-da. Here she is.
So lovely. So lovely.
So I'm really excited to talk to you tonight. I was just reminiscing on when we first met, and it was actually a good couple of years ago now.
Yes.
And it was a really awesome evening. Part of the Adidas store, you guys say Adidas, I think. Is that right? The actual pronunciation, guys, everyone, is Adidas. Creators Corner at the store on Melrose. Mm-hmm. And you came at me with so many beautiful, lovely vibes and energy, and we've been friends ever since.
Yes.
So overdue this conversation. Tonya's a really, really impressive young woman. She's well and truly under 30. She has both a career that's emanated from the military, believe it or not, but also the music industry. So we're going to have a chat tonight and hear all about how she got started. So you can kick it off, babe. How on earth did you kick off this incredible duality and dichotomous career of yours?
You know, it all started with a curiosity and a passion, just a combination of the two. And I didn't have anyone in my family who was involved in the music business or entertainment business, not that I knew of.
And might be out there somewhere.
And so it was a matter of figuring it all out. And so one day I joined the military, and then the next day next thing you know, I started interning at one of the biggest radio stations out in Los Angeles, which is Power 106. And thank you to Terry Durian. She actually opened the doors for me and invited me with open arms, and that's how my career started.
Awesome.
in the music industry. And as far as the military background, I've been able to actually combine the two in certain events. Like I remember one year, the mayor of LA, Mayor Garcetti, he did a Made in America festival, and it was a combination of the music festival at City Hall. It was a wonderful thing.
Awesome.
I don't know if they'll continue that, but I just remember that year being a really productive, and for both music and politics, and just seeing the community, the LA community, come together, and it was great. And simultaneous, I do remember this one episode where they had these stands, right? And while the LA Fest was going on, Philadelphia was having their Made in America festival.
Awesome.
And so there were people in these, projected in these stands from different sites. So one from LA and one from Philadelphia. So the Philadelphia was seeing all the people passing by, in LA, and then in LA everyone was seeing the people passing by in Philadelphia. And it's so funny because actually these group of individuals found me on the hashtag, and we've been friends ever since. It's a funny story, side story.
You've managed to grow a really healthy social following. So I mean, you absolutely classify as a social media influencer because you've got just over 100,000 followers on Instagram, which is really amazing.
Thank you.
And you're a California native, right?
Correct.
So what training did you undertake to first get into the military? What did you have to go to kick off that side of your career?
Well, first, we had to go through boot camp, and that
sounds like the music industry. What was the military boot camp really like?
Oh, it was I had to go through a gas chamber, and they really trained you to the point where if anything were to ever happen, you'd always be ready, and to be in that mindset. It's funny because music and military is just like day and night, but I've managed to live this or combine the two, and still progressively manage artists off selection, and I've worked with artists. We have a show, there's a show coming up in June that has a lineup of some of Drake's artists in there, and Erykah Badu.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you. So I've been really happy about that. And going back to the military training, it was, went through boot camp and went through, all this training. And
what were you doing for the military? Because I definitely want to dive into your music, but I'm really curious just as how that whole journey has informed aspects of your personality, your character, and your ability to be able to throw yourself into the music industry. So because you've also been an honorary, receiver of what do you call it? I mean, not awards, but
medals and whatnot.
Medals and all those kinds of things. So what were you doing for the military, and what were these awards that you've been awarded?
That's a great question. Since I've been overseas and I was actually stationed in a combat zone area, I have been awarded with some medals and achievement awards. And there's another story. I have plenty of stories.
I bet.
So when I was actually out overseas, every Wednesday, they had this thing called MC Night, right? And I heard about it all over base, and it was just like this little get-together of maybe like 50, 60 people. And someone asked me if I wanted to DJ. So I was like, sure, why not? I'll DJ, I'll spin. It was, it was all out of volunteer work, but it was all for the troops and to boost morale and to just to spread this positive energy through music. And
that's really special.
It truly was special, just because all the soldiers were away from their families, so far away, and you don't know, sometimes you don't even know when you're coming home, and access to normal living, to everyday things is so limited. Sometimes you wouldn't have internet to talk to your family or
absolutely
whatnot, and you miss eating at your favorite restaurants. It's just the little things that
absolutely. And music always brings people together, always unites everyone. So, did you have musical requests? Was everyone?
I did, yes. So, I would spin, and everyone started hearing about my show. So more and more people came, and as a matter of fact, I remember this group coming up to me, and they wanted me to manage them, and that kind of, the management part. I always had an idea that I wanted to be in the music industry, but I wasn't sure what exactly yet. So, but after that experience, it kind of just clicked, And this group was actually featured in some hip hop magazines and stuff like that. After I came back from deployment, that's when I started interning with Power 106, and my career took off. Then I worked. We worked with some big names in the business. Yes. I was an intern for 6 months, paid my dues, you had to pay your dues somehow.
Absolutely,
you just have to.
We all have to do the hard yards in some way, shape, or form. No way around it.
Yeah, there's no shortcuts, okay? Sorry, no shortcuts.
High five to that, babe. No shortcuts, I tell you.
It's all hard work. And so when I got hired onto Power 106 to be an official member of the team, I was an executive assistant to the big DJs that are on there. I worked from everyone from, Kelly Fell, just everyone on that team, Just Incredible, Sour Milk, DJ Charisma. I worked, I've been able to watch and see how they perform and spin at the clubs, and to watch them bring artists and really see how fast-paced the show business went, especially in music, but during the nightlife and during the daytime when they bring the artists to these the music meetings, and mixer meetings. I've had a bunch of artists come in from every name possible in hip hop, and it was truly amazing. And that's where I met a lot of people, executives from Atlantic Records, Epic, Interscope, all of them. So we were able to build a strong network through that, and I'm forever grateful. Terry Durian, she was the one who opened the doors for me, so I thank her so much. I will never, you really appreciate those who are.
Yes, you do. Because you realize how rare, especially in a city like LA, and it's a town we all love, but it can get tough at times. So it's really, really nice when people are willing to open doors. That's
a very honest statement.
And
very honest.
Well, you have a natural gift for building really genuine relationships. You're really good at, and also connecting others together as well. So,
and I surround myself with like-minded individuals, so.
So now you're managing Soul Lection and an emerging hip hop artist, Dante. And is it with Dante that you've founded this and co-founded this record label, Trip Juices?
Yes. So
tell us more about that.
That's a project that is in the works right now.
Okay, well that's really exciting.
Yes. So,
what's the premise behind the company?
So it's a startup record label, and once we put up more projects, then it'll definitely be, marketed and
you have to go through the development phase for a minute, right? You have to almost do stuff for a year or so for a minute behind the scenes.
I will add a remark though. I do love watching unknown artists become successful, and I've seen that a few times in my lifetime, in my career. It's truly a, I don't know how to describe it, but it's a humbling experience.
Deeply rewarding.
Yeah, rewarding. It's rewarding. I mean, I know it's extremely challenging for the artists themselves, but it is a rewarding feeling, like you were saying, to overcome that, because
journey and
exactly.
It's a very fine line and also big jump.
Yeah.
Or not between being a developing artist and then suddenly achieving success.
Yeah. Especially in art, because sometimes it's so difficult to actually add a price to art,
Absolutely.
And people do this out of their own efforts, energy, their love, and their passion. They just put it out there into the world, and that's such a wonderful thing to me. So when I see these unknown artists, become larger than life, and I've seen it. When they come through the radio station, I'm like, wow, like you really came a long way. So I really stand by independent artists.
Good for you. Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciate that and I respect that journey because I'm going through a similar one myself. Have you ever been labelled momager? A mummy manager?
Yes, I feel like
because you're nurturing and very, warm and loving.
Thank you. Yes, I've been told that I follow along those traits.
It's important, I think, in the big bad world of management.
It's just it's my personality.
Exactly.
I feel like I have
lots to give. Lots to give.
I feel like if I have the resources to be able to help others, then why not? I feel like that's one of the keys to major success.
Yes.
When you're able to also, account for others as well. It's just, it's like this unseen kind of
gift of giving.
Yeah, it's and I don't expect anything in return, and I think that, I guess, I don't know how to explain it. It's just the way.
Proof is in the pudding, and your relationships speak for itself and all those kinds of things. It's a big industry for managers. There's a lot of agents and managers out there. What sets you apart from a lot of the other managers out there, and what's your approach to management that you feel that obviously makes you different outside of what we just touched on?
I feel that it's the strength of my relationships with people, just the strength really, and being able to be creative in not only an artistic way but also in a business manner, and once you collaborate different ideas with others and they see that you have so much different and unique, unconventional ideas to offer, then that's, there's like a genuine connection there. And, eventually, from my experiences as a manager, booking agent, from assistant, et cetera,
it's good to get the perspective of different sides of the fence, for sure.
Yes. It's very important and pivotal that you take care of your artists. And I think that when you show genuine care and when you treat their project as if it was, if you treat their project as how much they treat their own project, they feel that. And I, in my opinion, that's very important. And, from top executives to artists, whichever, or you look out for their company the same way you would look out for your own company. And I think that has been a major success for on my part with
Absolutely.
different, you know, with, you know, high
caliber people that you're dealing with.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think energy, you know, intentions can lie. So I think people, especially as, you know, all of us are generally evolving, people are more and more, human beings are becoming more and more astute to energy and intention. And I think it ends up being a big gap between the big talkers in the likes of LA versus the doers and the high touch empaths that can actually really make a difference, both on a personal level and in the types of business deals that they're doing. And I think that you're quite reflective of that, you know.
Thank you, Miss Georgie. So sweet.
You're welcome,
so
babe.
Sweet.
Well, it's the truth. So what have you got on the horizon for Soulection and Dante and the label? And let's start there.
So with Soulection, they are always on tour.
Love them.
Yes, they have
Incredible.
Yes, I work with...
I'm sorry to cut you off, but like I knew of them and I was a huge fan before I met you, but I didn't put two and two together, but I've been following them and listening to them.
That's wonderful.
And also Cosmic Cuts, I do like too, but Soulection are incredible.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've always been a fan of listening to their stuff on just streaming through SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And when I met you, I was like, Soulection. I was like, that rings a bell. And I didn't put two and two together. But anyway, sorry, carry on.
They're a true definition of grassroots, a grassroots collective. Actually, Joe K, who's the founder, went to the same college as me. So that's actually where he started Soulection at, Beach Radio.
Very cool.
Out in Long Beach.
Yeah,
so,
cool.
Yes. And Andre Power he's a DJ, artist, a great friend, curator, and he's one of my top clients as we speak, and he's great. You know, we did a show for Adidas, and we've done a lot of collaborations with different sports deals, and he's been truly amazing to work with and very easy to work with too. So
That's awesome.
So that
helps.
It's you end up becoming like family. Yeah. And so once you become in a industry where there's a lot of male managers and like just a male dominating industry, I feel like as a woman, when you become like family, you don't run into that issue of this bias.
Absolutely.
Female, male type thing. It's more like across the board. Once you become like family, we build that trust, you build that foundation, you show who you are as a person, and you just have to really connect. And I personally only work with people I get along
really connects with on that level.
Yes. It makes things much easier.
Well, I think when you're your own boss and as a female entrepreneur, at least you get to curate, as you're saying, the relationships and the types of people, and essentially, personalities, energy that you get to work with. Yeah, that makes all the difference. Yes. When you are running your own show, that makes all the difference in the world. I think when you're under somebody else's guise, it's a different situation. But so I mean, I had the pleasure of meeting Dante the other evening at the Pretty Little Things launch. Yes. What are your plans? Is this a fairly new relationship, or have you guys been working together for a while?
So I've known Dante for quite some time, and he's going to be releasing some new projects this summer, and so we're just gonna wait on that, and So
awesome.
Yeah.
That's hush hush for the minute.
Yeah, for a little bit.
Did I just say Pretty Little Things or Pretty Little Liars? What did I say?
Yes.
I meant Pretty Little Things, just in case I said Pretty Little Liars. That was actually a fun event, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was really fun. Cool. Well, I think, as part of Outlier TV, I always love to get my interviewees to share their personal, tips, advice, inspirations, etc. for listeners. What knowledge would you like to impart today and share with the listeners? Hot tips
in the music business and life.
Anything that you feel compelled to share.
I think it's really important to balance out, work, health, family, all of that. And I think that sometimes people get so lost and unbalanced and putting so much effort into one subject that they kind of lose touch of, of themselves a little bit, because you're like, you have this missing void, right? And so it wasn't until like this year or maybe the end of last year where I was finally able to find this happy balance where I was able to, juggle with, with my family and just loved ones, my friends, I never forgot any of, I still hang out with my high school girlfriends, they're doing their own thing and they still live in the same town, but we grew up together and, we accepted each other when we were younger.
Despite maybe different journeys and all that kind of stuff.
Despite all that we had to go through, growing into adulthood, that's quite a journey. And to, find yourself. Yeah. It's important and extremely pivotal to have a balance.
It's the advice I actually gave one of my own artists the other day. We were speaking on the subject of other things and I just sort of said, just come back to literally exercising, getting into a routine, sleeping and hydrating the shit out of yourself so that you're actually feeling good. Once you're balanced in that way, you can actually focus on the balance of everything else. Yes. And balance is key.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
It truly is.
You've imparted a few beautiful gems today. What else would you like to, what other knowledge would you like to impart today, especially for the younger generations, as it pertains to social and digital and how to leverage those types of platforms to enhance the presence of their music career?
In my opinion, this advice would be good for, younger, any generation, just because we live in such an interesting time with technology and the different resources that right at the click of a button. And the way I've been able to use my social media engagements, with over 100,000 followers and with, I remember getting like 1 million engagements off Facebook and whatnot. I think that it's important to find your key audience and to be consistent with the content. I think that consistency is what's going to set one individual from another, just because of the high traffic and the momentum that this individual offers. That plays a key role. And from my experiences with Adidas and
Adidas, no, I'm kidding.
with Adidas sports collaborations, they have NBA players post about the certain event that we are DJing at, and so it's we kind of share the audiences with NBA fans, with music fans, and it collaborates. And I think that that's been a very unique way to broadcast, to also collaborate, and to combine two different worlds together. I think that's very important. And for anyone who's out there and wants to, get into the music business or
Don't
even
do it. I'm kidding. Don't do it, please.
Entertainment or what have you, I think that it's good to kind of find that unique outlet to broadcast.
I have one more question for you, if that's okay,
absolutely.
before we wrap it up for the evening, which is the concept of brand. How important is it to you to work with your artist to explain, strategize, implement and execute around this concept of social and digital being the 24/7 interface for communities and audiences and brand? I mean, you kind of just touched on a little bit with content and consistency around content. How critical, like what strategic sort of advice and all that kind of stuff do you put in place to help support that type of development for your artist's career?
That's a great question. There's so many different ways to do it, and each brand/company is going to go off of their mission statement as to how they want to broadcast and film or anything else of that nature. It really all depends to that company and how they want to project themselves to the audience. If it's not their thing, then I wouldn't recommend it. But if it's something that they are naturally interested in, not by force or whatever, then I think that it'll work out. It's really up to the company, and what works for them. Because some things that might work for a certain company will not work for another, and vice versa.
There's one thing that I love about that process is the why, and just going through that process, because obviously every single different brand is their own sort of universe, and without a why, why do you stand for what you stand for? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why do you show up every single day? Has to be different, right? It's like a human being.
Absolutely. You have, if you can't stop thinking about it every day, then that means something.
Yes.
It means something. So follow that instinct.
Yes.
Follow that.
Yes. High five to that. For sure. Awesome. So it's been so fun having you here tonight.
Likewise.
And again, a great excuse to see you and all that good stuff. So thanks so much for joining us on Outlier TV. This is Tonya Tran, and we'll be back very soon.
Yes.